Hey guys, what's up? It's Retro Mikey78 here, and today I want you guys to tune in to watch the Tanktacular Chris Pico, the old ass retro gamer. Hashtag Tanktacular.
Well, shit. Stupid ass camera froze up. I will be back.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Retro Mikey78 here, and today I want you guys to tune in to watch the Tanktacular Chris Pico, the old ass retro gamer. Hashtag Tanktacular.
Hello. Well, that hasn't happened in a while. I knew that it was I think I had a clue that it was gonna happen because usually if I always reboot my computer before I start one of these streams, and I didn't do it today. I was actually using it for about an hour before the stream started, and I was like, "Oh, I don't have time to reboot." I was too busy. I wasn't paying attention at the time, and I was like, "I bet you the $10 the damn camera's gonna crap out." And sure enough, it did. But was it Wednesday night? Church and Jason of Corpse Flood and I did a StreamYards like meetup together. We always like just meet up and chat for like a couple of hours. And my computer had been on for 3 days at that point, and I hadn't rebooted it, and nothing happened at all. It's only when I actually want to stream something that this kind of stuff happens. But anyway, welcome everybody. Chris, the old ass retro gamer here. This is recent pickups number 78. Everything I've picked up for my physical media collection in June of 2023. It's not nearly as epic as last month was, but I still have quite a number of awesome things to talk about, both in the way of movies and the video games. I got about an equal amount of each, and I actually am going to be doing a couple of unboxings here too, with some of this stuff to show off what it really is on the inside, what it's like on the inside, stuff like that. So let's dive right in. So who we got in the audience today? Is Mondane here? Is Peter here? It is a Friday, so I kind of understand that not a lot of people will be here for a live stream because, it's the weekend. 4th of July is coming up. People are getting ready to do family stuffs, so it is kind of an odd night for this. But we'll start off with something that is neither video game or movie related. This is Dungeons & Dragons related. If you haven't checked out my Dungeons & Dragons campaign that I'm doing with Mondane and Church the Game Grinder and a bunch of my friends from a previous campaign, go over to twitch.tv/theoldassretrogamer and check that out. We stream there about once a month. So what is up, Tiger Shot? What's up, TJ? Odd Nights? Hell yeah. So I talked about this in the episode of the Super Enabler Brothers podcast that I did with Jason, and our guest was Mondane. This previous Saturday. I talked about it there, but Jason hasn't released the episode yet, so I'm going to bring it up now. So I want to say back in April, I was right around the time that the Dungeons & Dragons movie was coming out. I bought a bunch of minis that were based on the movie from the WizKids website, like directly from them. And it was supposed to come with like an extra figure for doing so, because I bought this pack that they had, and I was like, oh, you get this extra figure along with it. And when the shipment showed up, the extra figure was not there. So I contacted WizKids through email, and I'm like, hey, look, I got the shipment, but that extra thing that you guys were saying was supposed to be in there isn't here. And they're like, oh, we're sorry, we'll send it out immediately. And like, I didn't hear anything. So like two weeks go by, I sent another email. I'm like, hey, I was just wondering if that extra figure thing shipped. Let me know. Didn't hear anything. Sent another email like 2 weeks later. So at this point, it's been a month, and there no response from that email either. So about 3 weeks after that, I started to get pissed. So I called them out on Twitter, and I was like, I actually tagged, WizKids in it, and I was like, hey, I'm never buying another thing from you guys again, directly from your website. I'll buy it from secondhand sellers and stuff like that, or eBay or Amazon, instead of buying directly from you, because you guys have terrible customer service. You're not answering any of my emails. You've neglected to ship this thing to me, which you said you were, not once, but twice. And I'm like, screw you guys. And then like 2 weeks ago, I get 2 emails from WizKids. One of them is like an apology saying like, oh, we didn't get your emails. We were inundated with other stuff. Like we didn't see it, but we did see your tweet. We're so sorry. We're going to ship the thing to you. And then I got the next email was like immediately, like 2 minutes after that, it was the shipping confirmation for this thing. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm finally going to get it. I can use this thing, because I was actually looking forward to using this miniature in my campaign. Been drinking messed up, you name. Been drinking messed up, you name, sir. What's up, Tiger Shot? What's going on? So when it shows up, I'm like, oh, great. This is going to be awesome because it was supposed to be like this Yeti figure, and I had an idea for how I was going to use it. And then I open up the package and I see what it is, and I'm like, oh. Mm-hmm. So usually, well, it's a thing now that you can either get a real figure, like an actual, like toy-looking figure. Oh, misspelled my name. No problem. Oh, I see what you did. I got you at the top. No problem, dude. It's all right. But what the other thing you can do instead of getting just a figure is like these, I don't know what they're called, but here it is. It is like a piece of plastic that has the picture of the Yeti on one side from the front, and if you turn it around, it has the picture of the Yeti on the back. It's like this cheap alternative to actual figures. The things I ordered from WizKids in that original order were figures, little toy-looking things. And this was the bonus. I was like, wow, you might not have even sent it. I was like, this is disappointing in the extreme because I can't use this on my stream because of where I have the camera placed for the battles, looking straight down on the battlefield, and this thing will just look like a flat piece of plastic. You won't be able to see it. So it's basically useless. So this is now going to sit right here to remind me never to buy anything from WizKids directly. Again, I might actually have it like he's peeking out, like he's creeping at me, like, ooh, what are you doing over there, bro? Ooh, you streaming? Ooh, can I get a piece? Ooh. I have not been drinking. So let's get into the movies. So first things first, I actually have a new 3D Blu-ray to talk about. It's a brand new movie that got released on home media. It actually came out in December. Finally got a physical release this month. It took them for long enough. It's been on streaming not once but twice. Like it was on Disney Plus for like 3 weeks or 2 weeks or something like that, and then it got pulled, and now it's on. I think it's on Amazon. No, it's on HBO Max or Max and Disney Plus now. Because the home video version came out. We're talking Avatar: The Way of Water. I'm kind of done with the 3D stuff. I'm actually getting rid of a bunch of my 3D Blu-rays that I will probably never watch. What's up, Retro Coop? But I wanted to get this because when I saw this in the theater, when it, the weekend that it came out, I saw it in 4D. It's not only was in 3D, but the chairs move. You get sprayed with water and sprayed with air. They pump smells into the theater. There's like lighting effects and like smoke effects and stuff. It was pretty cool, but it was also some of the best 3D I have ever seen in a movie, period. So I was hoping that, James Cameron, being who he is, he was going to push for a 3D Blu-ray release, and I was glad that he did. So I snapped it up. I have not watched it yet. In order to watch this, I have to hook my PS4 back up and watch it in my, excuse me, I just suddenly got a frog in my throat. I have to watch it on my PSVR headset and all that. I don't have any of that stuff hooked up anymore. So I'm going to have to pull it down this long weekend and give this a go and see if it holds up to what I remember the theatrical experience being like. So it's pretty cool. I do like this movie quite a bit. I like it more than the original. I was kind of lukewarm on the original. I thought it was cool and all. It was fun, but I mean, is it this like phenomenon? Do I view it as like this movie that deserved the big phenomenon that came with it? Not really. I just thought it was kind of a all right movie. I mean, Terminator 2 is way better than this. Aliens is way better than this. The Abyss is way better than this. True Lies is better. But the second one, I think, expanded the world in really cool ways. All the new characters are really fun and cool. I really like Sigourney Weaver's new character and all that. And the underwater stuff is amazing. Like cinematography-wise, it's amazing. And plus, the 3D is fantastic. So I just hope this holds up. And then I bought mostly 4Ks this month, but when it comes to the Blu-rays, I got that and this monstrosity, which I will do an unboxing of for your viewing pleasure. So I'm a huge fan of. I've talked about it on the channel a lot. That I'm a huge fan of Full Moon. It's okay. So we've got Full Moon Films, Full Moon Entertainment, and now Full Moon Features. Their name changes constantly. But before Charles Band created Full Moon back in the early 90s, I think it was actually 1990, he owned a theatrical film distribution company called Empire Pictures. They did Reanimator, From Beyond, Ghoulies, Metal Storm, Parasite. They were making movies for I think a whole decade. and then they went bankrupt at the end of the 80s, and then Charles Band switched focus to direct-to-video stuff and created Full Moon. There was a box set released by Scream Factory, I want to say 6 years ago, that was called like the Empire. It was like an Empire box set. It had like pretty much every single Empire movie on Blu-ray in it. And it sold out immediately, and then it went into moratorium because it sold out so quick, and it is like super expensive to buy, and I rarely ever see them show up on eBay. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to buy all these movies individually. Some of them were released individually by Scream Factory and are in moratorium now. Like if I want to get a copy of Robot Jocks, I'd have to pay like $150 for a Blu-ray, which I'm not going to do. What's the other one that they released? Dolls got a release through Scream Factory like back in 2015 or 14 or something like that, and I kept on putting off buying it, and now that's in moratorium, and that's going for like $150. No. Then it looks like Arrow Video, which is a British boutique label, bought the rights to a bunch of these movies and has released a box set. It's not all of the ones that were in that Shout Factory one or Scream Factory one. That one had 12 or 13 movies in it. This one only has 5, but it's 5 that I don't already own, or 4 that I don't already own. And it is Dungeon Master, Dolls, Cellar Dweller, Arena, and Robot Jocks. 2 of the ones that are in moratorium on Scream Factory's website and are going to be super hard to get. And it is called the Empire of Screams box set. Enter the Video Store, Empire of Screams. And it has a bunch of extra stuff for each movie. And I cannot wait, and I'm going to do a little unboxing on this because it looks like, if you look, it has characters from all the movies featured in the box set on the front, and it's like they're standing in front of a video store. There's the robots from Robot Jocks. You got Dungeon Master, you got the Dolls. You got the Cellar Dweller. You got the couple from Dolls over here. You got one of the characters from Arena, one of the girls from Dolls. So that's pretty awesome. So let's do a little unboxing. I was actually going to watch one of these today, but I was like, no, save it for the stream. And from what I understand, see, I pre-ordered this like the day the pre-orders went up on Amazon. Apparently, this thing is now completely sold out, just like that Scream Factory one was. So I'm glad that I jumped on it when I did. It was also significantly cheaper than that Empire box set was when that came out. So here it is outside the package. So this is a slip cover that comes off. And on the back end, you've got even more stuff. It's like the back of the video store, and you've got the Cellar Dweller stuff, some of the Dungeon Master stuff also. And it opens like this. And you've got the movies inside. So let's take these out and take a look. I thought I heard something like moving around on these, like something was broken. Okay, so start off, we've got Dungeon Master, which is a anthology style movie. It's about this like computer programmer guy played by Jeffrey Byron, who was in Metal Storm like the year before. And he has created like an AI on his home computer, and this like evil being kidnaps his girlfriend and sucks him into like this alternate dimension to fight for her. So he keeps the evil being keeps like throwing Jeffrey Byron's character in all these different scenarios, like little mini Dungeons and Dragons adventures to try to figure out how to get out of it alive. And if he does, he'll get his girl back. And he just keeps on getting thrown into multiple ones. A lot of them keep reusing sets from other Empire movies, like the first Trancers. There's stuff from Trolls. There's stuff from, I don't know about Reanimator, but there's stuff from Metal Storm. There's like the vehicles from Metal Storm in one of them. It's kind of funny and silly. It's not the greatest thing, and it's super short. The movie is only, 77 minutes long. Everywhere else, this was called Rage. Oh, that's what I was hearing. A little Arrow Video. It's like I got a rental card for a Arrow Video rental store. Oh, that's funny. Everywhere else outside of America, this was called Rage War for some reason. I wonder if the extra... No, this is the original poster art. I'm going to flip it around to that because I enjoy that one very much. That's pretty cool. I like that it's got this Arrow video rentals. And it also comes with some lobby cards. One of the mini adventure things that Jeffrey Bryan gets sent into is like a concert where Wasp is playing. And that's, I think, the lead singer from Wasp. And the villain is played by Richard Mole, who was on Night Court. He played Bull. And that's Jeffrey Bryan's girlfriend that he's captured there. And it also comes with a poster that has both sides covered with art. You got their remake, like the new version of the poster here, and the original poster art here. I'm surprised it's not called Rage War anywhere. The movie, when I put the movie in, it's going to say Rage War as the title because that's the way the other version I have of this is. There's the guy from Wasp. It's a fun movie. It's not my favorite. But the thing is, I already own this movie on another disc. Like I was saying, some of these movies have been released separately from Scream Factory from that box set, and I bought a double pack that has Dungeon Master and this other movie they did called Eliminators on the same disc. So this is a double dip for me. So it's all right, whatever. I expected at least one of these was going to be something that I already owned. I'm just glad that the other ones are not. So next up we have Dolls, which is kind of like the precursor to Puppet Master, which is like the big Full Moon franchise. And this one's about this family who's out in like the British, I don't know, they're out in the British wilderness or whatever. Their car breaks down. They go up to this house that's like nearby asking for help so they can use the phone. And it's run by this old couple. And they have like all of these living dolls that kind of go bad. Running through the house, killing people. It's pretty fun. It's entertaining. That's the original poster art right there, which I love. They walk, they talk, they kill. It's really, really fun. It's kind of like low-key funny, too. It's almost like a black comedy. This was directed by Stuart Gordon, who did Reanimator and From Beyond, and Robot Jox that I'll be talking about here in a minute. Let me pull some of this stuff out. Come on, bro. There we go. Lobby cards. We've got pictures of the old couple and the little girl that was stranded with her parents when their car broke down. The cool thing is the guy who plays the old man in the movie that runs the house is the same guy who ends up playing Andre Toulon in Puppet Master 3 for Full Moon. There's a shot of all the dolls in the house. There's the precursor to Jester from Puppet Master right there that she's holding. And there's another shot of the old couple. And the poster... Does anyone know if disc rot is a real thing? It is. It just depends. Like, it depends if you take care of your stuff. Here's the new poster for Dolls and the old poster, which I love. That's just creepy. I remember seeing that box art on the VHS tape at the video store and going, no. Because I was a little kid when this came out. I wasn't a little kid. This came out like in 85 or 86, so I was probably in like 6th grade. So that one's a real personal favorite. Yeah, it depends if it's depends on the manufacturing of the disc. It depends on if you take care of it or not, if you keep it like in a moist place. But I have not encountered disc rot anywhere just yet. Next up, we have Cellar Dweller. Here's the new artwork, and I'll flip it around to the OG, which is one of these movies I've never actually seen. This was one that like my local video stores didn't have, or if they did, something might have happened to it, and it never caught my eye. Maybe, I don't know, but I've never actually seen this one. So, out of all of these, now that it's open, this is going to be the first one that I watch because I've never actually watched it. I can read the back to you if you'd like to tell you what it's all about. From John Carl Buechler, the guy who directed Troll and does all the makeup effects. He does like all the makeup and practical effects for Full Moon and for Empire. Sadly, he passed away like a couple of years ago. Colin Childress, who is Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator, so that's a plus already because he's a great actor. A comic book artist with a penchant for the macabre, takes inspiration from an ancient tome and dies in under mysterious circumstances. Years later, his house is now an art institute run by Mrs. Briggs, Yvonne DiCarlo from the Munsters. Yeah, that was Lily Munster. When new student Whitney Taylor, Deborah Maloney, don't know who she is, I guess she was on Eureka, arrives and occupies the cellar that used to be Childress's studio, an ancient evil is accidentally unleashed. Ooh, that's the original poster art right there. And we've got some lobby cards here too. That's what the actual creature cellar dweller looks like. Is that pentagram etched into his chest? There's Jeffrey Combs apparently getting murdered at the beginning of the movie. It's some spoilers and another picture of Jeffrey Combs. Looks like they're really banking on him in this movie. And the poster is... There's the OG. Or this is the new one, which is actually more accurate to what the creature looks like, because this looks nothing like the creature. So I will probably watch this weekend and see what it's all about. See if it lives up to the hype. Next up, we have Arena, which is the movie that was unfinished for the longest time because Empire went bankrupt. So that's the new poster art. Not the greatest. It looks very busy and kind of ugly. Let's switch it around to the OG. Yeah, the OG is super simple. Why would you not want to keep this? Okay. This is the original poster art. So this takes place in the future. Humanity is kind of like the minority in outer space, and there's like this space station where there's this like boxing ring where aliens fight each other. And like the humans, like nobody gives a crap about them anymore. None of them have been able to compete because they suck compared to everyone else in the universe until this one new dude shows up and he starts taking on the aliens and starts winning and making humanity, you know, I don't know, great again. I don't know what way to put it. And it's really cheesy. And it was, I remember seeing it on cable, but the thing was it went unreleased for like years because this next movie bankrupted the studio when they were making it at the same time as this one. And this one kind of went unfinished for a little while. When Charles Band got some money back together, he finished the movie and got it like put out real quick. But yeah, I remember it being really fun, if not really super cheesy. It has a lot of like famous faces in it. Like Claudia Christian is in this. Trying to think who else. Like a lot of people from Star Trek. This has two people from Deep Space Nine in it. This has Armin Shimmerman, who played Quark. He plays like this character who looks like a rat, who is literally a rat. He like rats on everybody. And Mark Alimo, who played Gul Dukat on Deep Space Nine, plays the villain in this, who like runs the whole betting pool for the boxing matches. And he's got like some weird ass makeup on too. Like it's really, really cool the way the movie is set up and the makeup effects. And it's fun. It's silly, but it's cool. I remember really enjoying it. I wonder if it holds up. But the one that bankrupted the studio completely is Robot Jox. And that's the new artwork. Actually, I didn't show off the insides for Arena because there might be some pictures of those actors I was talking about. Yeah, this has a poster as well. And here are the cards. That is the lead, Paul Satterfield, I think, making out with Sherry Shattuck, who is like he's like other love interest. Yeah, you can see both of them in this picture. So this guy right here with the black hair, that is Mark Alimo, and right back here is Armin Shimmerman, the guy who played Quark. And this is the big bad from the fighting ring. It's this big sloth-looking thing with these gigantic legs. And this monstrosity is one of the reasons why the movie went unfinished, because it cost like almost a majority of the budget to make it. And it turns out they couldn't really afford it. But Robot Jox, that's the original artwork. I saw this in the theater. Empire movies usually had theatrical releases. They weren't huge releases, but I remember I was doing I think it was for my oral communication class in high school. I was teamed up with this guy named Sargon, and I went to his family's home in, I think it was Skokie, like his grandmother's home in Skokie, so we can go to this library out there and do some research for our report that we had to do in the front of the class. And when we were done, there was like a theater down the street, and we went and saw this. It was like a second run theater, and we saw Robot Jox. It was pretty fun. I remember really enjoying it. So it's like giant robots fighting each other. It's like in the future, after like World War III has happened, the Russians and the Americans now settle their territorial disputes with these giant robots instead of nuclear bombs. So they have like a big robot fist fight. Whoever wins gets whatever it is they're looking for. Robot Jox is a hidden gem. Hell yeah! What's up, man, boy cave? And this one is a picture of Gary Graham, who was on the Alien Nation TV show. He played James Caan's character. He's the lead in the movie. Here's another shot of Gary Graham yelling at, what's her name? Holly. Anne Marie Johnson. She was on In Living Color. She's like this clone, but like genetically engineered person who's supposed to be the next generation of robot pilots. And then here we have a picture of the robots getting ready to fight. And these are all miniatures, and they all look pretty fantastic. It's Voltron time, basically. And, you know, you got the poster as well. That's the new version of the poster, which I do enjoy, and the original one, which is a little more low-key. But I'm glad that I have this in my collection, because there were a couple of times where I was like, I want to watch Robot Jox so freaking bad, I might just pay $150 for that damn Blu-ray. Luckily, I kept on slapping myself and saying, don't you dare. And I did not. Open wet basement. Yeah, I haven't encountered any Robot Jox. I haven't encountered any disc rot in my collection at all so far. I remember when we went to Midwest Gaming Classic in 2021, the one that was in November. We're all sitting at dinner. It was like all the YouTubers that got together and had dinner at that lockdown place or whatever it was called. We were talking, and I heard Richard W. talking about like how 3DO is just prone to disc rot all the time. Like, it's not even worth buying because it's, you know, disc rot is just, you know, rampant through that. I've never had a disc rot disc in my collection for my 3DO. Like, all of them are pristine. So I don't know what he was talking about. But the last thing that comes with that set is this big, thick book, which is all about the behind-the-scenes information on the making of the movies and articles about them and interviews with the actors and the filmmakers and all that. And I cannot wait to flip through this and read it. That looks fantastic. I can't wait to watch Robot Jox again. It's been so long. So I was super thrilled to get this. It did not break the bank. Actually, it ended up being like $30 cheaper when it shipped to me compared to when I pre-ordered it. It was like $99 when I pre-ordered it. It was $89 when I pre-ordered it. $89.99 when I pre-ordered it, and it ended up getting like $30 back. And I got an email from Amazon. They're like, "Yeah, you saved money. You saved $30 on that box set." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But now it is like sold out from what I'm being told. So I'm super thrilled that this is in my collection now. Got a bunch of movies I didn't think I was ever going to be able to own. Haven't encountered any Robot Jox either. Yeah, neither have I. Not that I'm looking. The talking, it sucks. Anyway, so now we're going to move on to the 4Ks, and I have a lot of these. We'll start off with some of the less impressive, little generic movies. So we got National Lampoon's Vacation. So every movie that's going to be released this year from Warner Brothers is going to have this on the slipcover. It's going to have that gold border with that WB 100 anniversary stuff on it. I saw a review of this on, I think it was Serial at Midnight's YouTube channel, and they said that it was Films at Home. It was Jeff from Films at Home, and he said that the transfer on this is like phenomenal. Like, it's a complete step up. It's like finally Warner Brothers is not doing that DNR thing where they like smooth the image out when they upgrade it to 4K. They're actually embracing film grain because these movies were shot on film. Film grain should be there. It's part of the image. And they're embracing it, and it's the best this movie's ever going to look, basically. And the movie's actually pretty funny. I wouldn't say this is my favorite in the series. I do enjoy Christmas Vacation a lot more, but this one is still pretty awesome. The original movie in the series. The one that's never gotten like a big release is the second one, European Vacation. I wish they would do that. I upgraded my copy of this. I got an upgraded copy of Mallrats on 4K from Arrow Video. And I wanted this one. Like, I could have just ordered this off of Amazon. And it would have come with a slipcase, but it would have come with, hang on 1 second here. Doop-a-doo. Oh, come on, open up, damn it. It would have come with this artwork on the slipcover and not the original movie poster. I had to order this from Arrow to get this like website exclusive slipcover because the original poster for Mallrats was one of these magic eye posters that shows you like a hidden image. And I can do these posters. I just, for the life of me, cannot get this one to work. Maybe it was because it had the cellophane on it. It was like creating a glare. But I've never been able to, like back then I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't adjust my eyes to see what was on the poster, but now I can. But I wanted to have that. And apparently it has the same image that was on the poster back in the day. But this one has 2 discs. The first disc is the theatrical cut of the movie. The second disc is the extended cut. And normally I would not have, I was like, do we really need Mallrats in 4K? No. But the reason I wanted to keep, I had this on Blu-ray that had both cuts on it as well. But the thing was, they not only upgraded the theatrical cut in 4K, but they also did the extended cut. Once I saw that the extended cut got the 4K upgrade as well, that was when I said, okay, fine, I'll do that one. Otherwise, I would have just kept my Blu-ray set because it's Mallrats. Does it really matter? Second movie that Kevin Smith made. This one is the mainstream one, I guess. Like he did the first movie with, he paid for it himself and all that, got a deal with Miramax. They distributed it for him. Next thing you know, Universal's like, here's like $5 million. Go and make us the best comedy ever made. And it's funny. I like it. It's not the greatest movie ever, but it's funny. And from Arrow also, I upgraded my copy of The Last Starfighter on 4K. And I heard that this one actually has a fantastic transfer, like way better than what the Blu-ray looked like, especially when it comes to the CGI effects. Because there's been some movies that I've had where I've bought the 4K of it. There's a movie that came out in the 80s, and the special effects got like a real hit because they were not filmed with great film stock, I guess, in order to cover up some of the imperfections. But here, everything was CGI. It was really early CGI. It was post-Tron. They were trying to do photorealistic CGI. It didn't quite work, but it looks supposedly fantastic in 4K. And this one has a ton of extras also. Look at all that. Limited edition contents. Boom! Tons of stuff. That is awesome. So I need to watch this one this weekend as well. We got the long weekend. What's up, Tiger Shot? Love that movie. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I saw that in the theater. It was one of the few movies my parents actually took me to see in the theater when it was new and not at the dollar theater, the second run theater. Also upgraded my copy of the original Insidious. And I'll open this up so we don't get glare. This is the Steelbook edition. I don't remember if there was a standard case version available, but when I pre-ordered it on Amazon, when I saw that it went up for sale, I just said pre-order, and it turned out to be a Steelbook. But I'm not mad because I really enjoy some of the movies in this franchise. Take that off. So yeah, you got that's the main poster art. If you look in the kid's eye, it actually says Insidious, like in the original poster. And on the back, you've got the red door that the kid's always seeing. That's kind of cool. Last night, I watched myself sleep. So, horror movie by James Wan, really low budget. I think this was made for just slightly over $1 million. And he got like Rose Byrne and, oh God, what's his name from the Conjuring movies? Oh man. I'm not going to be able to remember his name. And Lynn Shay to star in it. And there's like no CGI in it. It's all physical effects. Actually, there was one effect that is CGI. And it was a character walking on a wall. But outside of that, everything else was physical, which I thought was pretty awesome and done like in camera. But it's a horror movie about like this kid goes into a coma randomly, and his parents are trying to figure out why. So they bring in this specialist to do some research, and turns out the kid can astral project, and his like consciousness is not in his body anymore. But there's an evil being trying to get into his body, and that's what they're trying to stop. What's up, Davey? How's it going? Real fun movie. Sequels vary in quality. Like the second one is basically this movie all over again, but like 150 times more jump scares and stupid shit going on. The third one I enjoy. It's a prequel. The fourth one is a sequel to the prequel, which is still kind of fun. And there's a new one coming out this summer, actually, directed by the guy who plays the father in the first movie and the second movie, which looks pretty awesome. I'm going to go check that out. What other upgrades do I have in here? Upgraded my copy of Creepshow. I had a Blu-ray of this, but this is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So I absolutely had to get the upgrade to 4K. And it has all the same extras on here. The only thing that's missing is from the box set that I have for the Blu-ray is like the booklet that came with it, like the book that came with the Empire Screams set. Outside of that, it's the exact same thing, just done in 4K. And I hear this looks fantastic also. This movie is super colorful. This is another one of those like anthology movies. It's a bunch of like, it's like we're reading a comic book with multiple stories in it. There's 4 stories in this. Well, 5 if you count the wraparound. And they vary from like being super scary to like kind of silly and goofy. Like the one with Stephen King turning into a moss man, getting that meteor shit, that kind of stuff is kind of silly. The one with the cockroaches is kind of silly, but the other 2 are kind of creepy as hell. And the wraparound story with that stars Stephen King's son is pretty fun too. One of my favorites. But every time like some like big scare happens, all of a sudden the background will light up with these super intense like gels. Like all of a sudden this deep red will spread or blue, and I cannot wait to see how that looks in 4K. Let's see, upgrade. Also upgraded my copy of Dead and Buried on 4K. This is a pretty interesting horror movie from like the early 80s. It's really kind of gross. Stan Winston, it's like one of the first movies that Stan Winston worked on for the special effects. It has a really gross melting head scene. And it's kind of like this small coastal town. During the day, it seems normal. But if you are not from the town and you enter the town at night, all the townies will like surround you and like murder you in the worst way possible. And then the next day, the person or people that gets murdered become into like they're part of the town now. Like the next morning, they're walking around like nothing happened. They're not damaged in any way. They're just like walking around like they're a townie too. And it's really creepy as hell and has one of the best like final moments in a movie I think I've seen. It's really, really cool and really well done. It's creepy as hell. I had a Blu-ray of this that I found when I went hanging out with Rocket Sauce 2 summers ago for my birthday. I found it at one of the media shops that he took me to, Mega Media or whatever it was called. And there was a special edition of this released by Blue Underground, who was another niche label, that had they had 3 versions of it with like these lenticular covers. Everybody wanted the one that has the movie poster, which is this image on the front. There's another one that has like one of the kills happening, and another one that has just a character picture on it that nobody wanted. Those are the only ones I could find online, and I didn't want any of those. And then they just released like the standalone edition that is dirt cheap. So I said, the hell with the lenticular thing. I'll just take the movie. Let's see. What other upgrades do I got? I got this today. This actually showed up today, like 2 hours ago. I was watching Films at Home. Was it Films at Home? Yeah, Films at Home. No, he posted on Twitter. And he was like, hey, Groove, GRUV.com, which I think is like the storefront for Universal Pictures. They put this movie and another movie up for sale, like 4K pre-orders, and they weren't up for sale anywhere else yet. So if they're like, it was a decent price, it's probably about the same price you would get it from Amazon, and you could pre-order it now, and you'll actually get it earlier than the street date. So that was Jaws 2. And it's the 45th anniversary edition of it on 4K. And I think this one it's not as good as the original movie. I like this one quite a bit. It has a few extras on there. Deleted scenes, making of Jaws 2, a portrait by actor Keith Gordon, who now is a film director. He was one of the actors in this, one of the kids on the rafts. John Williams, the music of Jaws 2, the French joke, and storyboards. Out of all the Jaws movies that have come after the first one, this is the only one that actually feels connected to the first, because this was made like 3 years after the original, but it was shot in the same area. It features a lot of the same people from the town, like the color palette, everything about it just feels like it's just connected to the first one. Like it feels like a natural continuation. Then Jaws 3 kind of goes to SeaWorld. Jaws 4 kind of goes back to the town from the first and second movie, but it just feels different, like it's shot differently, and it just this is the only one that really feels like it belongs as part of the series. The shark in this one is like gigantic. The shark in this one is like a baby megalodon. The shark in Jaws 3 is even bigger than that. But this one's pretty cool. The only thing that sucks is the only cast member from the first one, like major cast members that came back, was Roy Scheider, and he did not want to be in this at all. There's like multiple documentation to say that he was like pretending to be insane so he could get out of the contract because he was contractually obligated to do this. And he was like trying to fake losing his mind, and he kept drinking on set to get fired, and nobody wanted to fire him because he was like the only person that came back. But it's a fun movie. I like that one a lot. Upgrade. Also upgraded my copy of Ronin. I got a copy of this from Arrow Video originally, but the picture wasn't the greatest. So then when I heard that Kino Lorber got the rights to release the 4K of this, I jumped on it. It has a lot of the same extras on it that the Arrow Video version did. And I hear, according to, what was it, Serial at Midnight, I watched his new video where he talked about all the Kino Lorber releases that came out this month. He released it this morning, saying that the picture on this is amazing. It's a action thriller with Robert De Niro and Jean Reno and Stellan Skarsgård and Sean Bean, where it's like a bunch of mercenaries are hired to steal this suitcase, and they're not really told what's in it or anything. They're just told, you have to get it. We need it by this day. Make your plans, do it, and it goes completely south. And it has some of the best car chases ever committed to film. So if you're a huge car chase fan, or a Robert De Niro fan, or Jean Reno fan, I highly recommend checking this out. It's fantastic. Like I said, the car chases are amazing. Upgrade. Also upgraded my copy of Time Bandits. I had like the generic vanilla version of this that was released by, I don't know if it was Warner Brothers or Universal or whatever. It had like no extras on it. It was just the movie. Well, Criterion released a 4K of this, and I was like, all right, fine. And this does have a lenticular cover. You can see it moving. Basically, it's just that color and the grid above. Terry Gilliam movie. I think it was the first Terry Gilliam movie that he directed solo without Terry Jones from Monty Python directing alongside him. And it's about a kid who gets like kidnapped by a bunch of dwarves who have stolen the map of the universe from God and are like time hopping. And God is coming after them, trying to get the map back. And also there's this evil being played by David Warner who's trying to steal the map too. Sean Connery shows up in a couple of the places that they go. I think he plays Robin Hood in one of them. I haven't seen it in so long, but I remember really, really enjoying it, and I need to check this out again. But Criterion puts out awesome product. Where are the extras? I don't see them. Oh, audio commentaries. Shelley Duvall. Oh yeah, Shelley Duvall is in this. There's an interview with her, I guess from a long time ago before she kind of, went crazy and stuff. Can't wait to watch that. I'll watch that this weekend also. Any other upgrades? Well, there's one big upgrade, but I'm going to save that for last. So I'll get to the new movies. So I picked up a copy of Evil Dead Rise. This is the newest Evil Dead movie. Came out like in April. This is the weird thing that's getting me about the way home video works now. Back in the day, a movie would come out, and it would not come out on home video for 6 freaking months. And then 6 months later, it would be on cable. Nowadays, a month and a half after the movie hits the theater, it's either on streaming or it's on home video. It's like the turnaround is crazy. It's like they have this ready to go the moment the movie hits the theaters, and they're just waiting for the grosses to drop so they can throw it out and keep the money flowing. So I saw this a couple of weeks after it came out, and it's good. I like it. It's not my favorite Evil Dead movie. That's still probably a tie between Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. But I do like this one more than the original. And it's kind of like a side story to the films. It's not like a direct sequel to any of them. Like this family who's in this building that's like apartment complex that's being condemned, foreclosed on. There's like an earthquake that happens, and the kids find like in the garage, like the parking garage under the building, they find like this big crack that shows there's like a bank vault underneath the building. And they go down there and they find the Book of the Dead from the Evil Dead movies, and they read from it, and the Deadites start possessing everybody, especially the mother, and that's who's on the cover. And it's about her trying to kill her kids and her sister the whole movie. And there's some there's some cool stuff in here. It's gory, but like not in the way that really got under my skin. Like I must be really desensitized to violence because there's a gag in here where someone who's possessed grabs a person, knocks them on the ground. They're fighting in a kitchen. The possessed person grabs a cheese grater off the counter and puts it on the person's calf that they're fighting and drags it along their calf and like skins it. And that was the only thing that made me go, ooh. But everything else was like breaking bones and people vomiting up blood and people getting like, their heads ripped off. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, sure. The only thing that got me was the grater moment. But it also has one of the greatest moments where the opening title, like the name of the movie is revealed. And it had to do with this girl floating right here. It's really cool the way it happens. It's fun, but not my favorite movie in the franchise, like I said. But I liked it enough to want to own it, basically to complete the collection because I have all the other movies on friggin' 4K. Also picked up Super Mario Brothers, the movie. This is the powered up edition, even though it does not have a whole lot of extras on it. So there's nothing powered up about it. I haven't watched this yet on home video, but I did see this in the theater the week after it came out with some friends, and I wasn't expecting a lot. I was expecting a kids movie. Not a movie made for adults. Like Mortal Kombat was. I was expecting a little kids movie, and that's basically what I got. There's some jokes thrown in there for the adults too, and some things that only adults will catch joke wise. But outside of that, it is a little kids movie, and I was like willing to forgive quite a bit. I wish there was more character development in this, but it's a kids movie. Who cares? We got Mario doing Mario things, and Bowser doing Bowser things, and that's the way it was going to be. But there's a lot of like in jokes and other stuff from games. I just wish they focused more on the Mario Brothers games than like Mario Kart. There was so much stuff they could save for sequels, and they kind of like threw all of it into this movie. They got like some Smash Brothers stuff in here, and they got some Mario Kart stuff in here. I would have just focused on the original maybe trilogy of games and done that and left the rest for potential sequels. This movie made over $1 billion worldwide. There are going to be sequels. And they're just like, to me, it was like they blew their wad too soon. Like, we didn't need Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong feels like a setup for like a side series of movies. Like, we're going to get a Donkey Kong Country series alongside this now. It felt like more of a setup than anything else. But yeah, Bowser, all the voice cast is great. Everyone had a big deal, everyone was complaining about Chris Pratt playing Mario. I had no problem with it. I'm Italian. I did not want to hear someone going, wahoo, it's me. The whole freaking movie, I would have gone nuts. I would have lost my shit. I'm glad that they decided not to do that and just have him say some of the catchphrases here and there, and I was okay with that. I love Charlie Day as Luigi. I think he was perfect. They're both perfect for the characters. Anna Taylor-Joy, I could have been okay with her not being there. Someone else probably could have done a better job. She just seemed like, yeah, I'm Peach, yay. Keegan-Michael Key was great as Toad. Jack Black was great as Bowser, although I am really sick of that freaking Peaches song. But it's fun. I like it a lot. It's super colorful. I can't wait to watch it on 4K to see, the colors molest my eyeballs. But yeah, it was fun. I liked it for what it was. But I do wish there was more to it, I guess. Also had to pick up John Wick Chapter 4, the longest movie in this franchise. This thing is almost 2.5 hours long, and some of the action scenes just drag on forever. I love action, but excuse me, there are times where I was like, can we just like get through it? Begrudgingly sat through which movie? Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed this. It's not my favorite movie in the series by a long shot. But there was something in this movie that really got me. And as a film fan, I started laughing in the theater and looking around, and everyone's looking at me like I'm crazy. Oh, the Mario movie? Yeah, I didn't have high expectations for it. I was like, it's going to be a little, but I was surprised I enjoyed it as much as I did. Like, I did have fun. The people that I was with don't seem to like many movies that I go to see with them, but they didn't really talk about it when the movie was over. But I followed them on Letterboxd, and they actually gave the movie good reviews. And I was like, I'm surprised you didn't talk about it much when it was over. So I didn't think they enjoyed it, but apparently they did. Yeah, it's better than I thought it was going to be. I'm actually looking forward to a sequel. So I was looking around the movie theater, seeing if anybody else was catching what I was catching, and nobody. So the finale of the movie takes place in France, and John Wick has there's headhunters out looking for him. And then all of a sudden it cuts to like this radio station and you see this microphone and this woman moves her face to the microphone. All you see is her lips in the microphone. And she goes, "Hey, boppers, a certain somebody is, apparently approaching this so-and-so intersection. You might want to go and get to him. I'll play a song for you." And she puts on a song, and the boppers thing and the song she played are from the Warriors. It's that exact same phrase, the "Hey, boppers," that the DJ in the Warriors was saying to let all the other gangs know where the Warriors were being spotted in the city. And then they play "Nowhere to Hide," or she played in the Warriors. She plays like a cover of "Nowhere to Hide" by, was it the Supremes or whatever? Because they probably couldn't afford the real song. And in this, that DJ goes, "Hey, boppers, John Wick's been seen on this so-and-so intersection. Go and get him. Let me play a song for you." And she plays "Nowhere to Hide," another cover of it. And I'm sitting there going like, God damn, these guys must love the Warriors. And I'm looking around going like, any other Warriors fans in here? And I'm looking around and everyone's just like, guess not. Yeah, the action is brutal. It's just overdone. That scene at the steps at the end, like, oh, he fell down again? It's like, can we just get to the top? But he's not dead. You have to know he's not dead. They've already said they're making a John Wick 5 and 6. They're going to have a spinoff with Donnie Yen's character. They've got that Continental show that's going to be on. There's that other movie series spinoff coming out called The Ballerina. It's not over. There's going to be plenty more. This movie made a killing at the box office. So we're going to get more. And you guys are going to think I'm crazy because I bought the same movie twice. So I was talking about that 3D Blu-ray that I bought. It was the first thing I talked about tonight. I bought that 3D Blu-ray of Avatar: Way of Water. Well, instead of releasing a 4K and a 3D combo pack, they decided to release them separately because James Cameron ain't no fool. He's all about that money. And he tricked me too. So I was like, oh, 3D Blu-ray, yeah. And then all of a sudden there's a 4K released of it too. So I was like, you son of a... So when I'm not having my PlayStation 4 and PSVR hooked up so I can watch it in 3D, I can just watch a 4K of it now. So I bought the same movie twice. It has different cover art and all that. And I think it has different extras on it too. Yeah, this one has completely different extras on it, which is kind of cool. They also released just a strict Blu-ray set and a DVD. So I own 2 copies of Avatar: Way of Water. Say what you must. But like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. I don't really have a problem owning 2 copies of it. If I want to watch it in 3D, I have that option. And if I want to watch it in 4K, I have that option. And the last movie is another upgrade. And you're going to laugh when you see what it is because it's not a good movie. But I love it because it's so bad. It's one of those like guilty pleasure movies. I watch it when I want to just have a real good belly laugh. So Vinegar Syndrome released this. I had this from an Australian company called Umbrella. They released a quote-unquote uncut version of it, and I talked about it a few months back, probably back in December or January. Turns out the uncut nature of it there was no NC-17 cut of this movie, which in the U.S. this was released NC-17. In other parts of the world, it had like an R-rated cut, which was like, we had alternate cuts of it here too. We had like when it came out on home video store owners had the option of buying the R-rated cut or the NC-17 cut. Like Blockbuster got the R-rated cut because they did not do NC-17. Everyone else got the NC-17 one. But other parts of the world did not get the NC-17 cut. They got the R-rated cut. So the unrated cut that was on that disc was just the NC-17 cut. So it was just the movie that I'm used to seeing. But then a 4K of this came out through Vinegar Syndrome, and I got it discounted also. Even though it was like a pre-order, they were like doing this discount thing for a weekend, and I got it like $10 off. We're talking Showgirls. Yep, I bought a giant box set of Showgirls. On the back it says Hot Girls in neon. And it opens up like a book, like most of these special editions from Vinegar Syndrome do. And you've got some posters from some of the shows that were happening in the movie. And you pull the movie out. The movie has this as the slipcover. Just a bunch of booties. Pull this out and you got the original poster artwork there. Underrated usually just means boobs in 2004. And it also has a book. And that's like there was two posters. There was the one that I just showed you where she's vertical, and there was another one where she is horizontal. And that was for like the long banner style posters. On the back, a private dance with James Smith at the Crave Club on Saturday. That was the I can't remember the character's name. The character, what's this? I can't remember the actor's name. That's what I'm trying to say. Who like had his like little dance studio that he was training her how to dance, even though she said she could, but she really couldn't. Yeah, so if you're a foot fetishist, you got a picture of her foot. And this has like behind the scenes stories and stuff. This movie is so bad. Like, trust me, I know that this movie sucks. It sucks hard. It is dumb. The acting in it is like really incredible bad. The dialogue is terrible. Like the things that Paul Verhoeven thought were sexy turns out they're nothing in the realm of sexy. Like, I'm sorry, but when I get a lap dance, I want grinding. I don't want seizures happening on my lap. And it's like, it had to have been, like, seriously, like Paul Verhoeven, the guy who directed this, did RoboCop, Total Recall, Basic Instinct, Starship Troopers. The guy's not dumb. He's a really good filmmaker. He had to have been doing all these things intentionally. Like, he thought that the script was terrible, and he thought that the only way he could do it was make, like, a mockery of it at the same as he was making it. And, like, I think everyone took it way too seriously, like it was supposed to be a serious movie. Because when I watch this, I just laugh. It is so bad. Like, the dog food conversation, the sex dance in the pool, like, anything that happens in this movie, like the main character, Nomi, that's played by the chick from Saved by the Bell. Like, she just flies off the handle on a moment's notice. Like, she'll be in the middle of a regular conversation, then she'll just lose her shit for no reason. It's like, is she bipolar? Probably. It just makes me laugh because it's like, it had to have been intentional. There's no way that Paul Verhoeven was letting these actors act this way, you know, and like, if he can control freaking Sharon Stone and make Schwarzenegger look like a good actor, but not these people, like, no, it had to have been intentional. It had to. But I enjoy that movie. It is so bad, it just makes me laugh. And it's one of those movies that I put on when I want to be cheered up because I just start laughing at it and I can't stop. Like where are you from? Lots of places. Chill out, lady. It's like throwing her French fries around for no reason. Yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah, from Saved by the Bell. Oh man, it is so funny. Like I remember and the thing is, like it's not like it's actually like a cult film now. Like it's a huge cult film. I've watched it for both podcasts. So the podcast that I'm currently doing, the movie is starting, where we record a commentary track to a movie. We've watched Showgirls. It was one of the first movies we watched on the podcast for the first season. The old version of that podcast I used to do called Van Damme That's Good, we watched it there too. And I watched it with a bunch of burlesque dancers. They were the ones who wanted to watch it. And the woman one of the dancers owned the copy that we watched, but she bought this like big, crazy DVD edition that came with a big cutout of Nomi. And it had like suction cup darts that you were supposed to throw on her that were supposed to be used as like pasties and stuff. And it came with a big ass book about the movie too. And like she brought the cutout and put it in the corner. She's like, Nomi's gonna watch us while we watch her. You know, it was nuts. But like the scene where Nomi, she has an issue with Gina Gershon's character and she like kicks her down the stairs. Oh no, it's when the other girl does that. And never mind. I ruined the joke already. Oh man, listen to the old podcast to hear that joke play out. Ugh. But I think it's funny as hell. But that's the last movie I have to talk about tonight. That's it. Last film. The rest is going to be the video games. So how's everybody doing? By the way, we got 4th of July coming up on Tuesday. I've got a 5-day weekend because of it. It's going to be pretty awesome. I'm going to go see Grandpa Henry goes to the farmer's market tomorrow. Or Grandpa Henry and the colonoscopy of doom tomorrow, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, I'm going to basically be playing games and watching movies. I'm going to be playing one of the games I'm going to talk about here tonight that I'm trying to beat. Okay, so we're going to go from oldest games to newest games, starting off with some pretty interesting stuff. So we're going to start off with Atari 2600. But these are not old games. These are new games for an old console. So I've really gotten into buying like these homebrews from Atari Age recently. Cap has a bet going that you can't stay awake his whole stream. Oh, is he streaming right now too? Oh yeah, he is. I'll jump over there once I'm done here. Yeah, like I keep on seeing people talk about how awesome some of these homebrews that are on the Atari Age website. No, I already have that one. That was a couple months back. These other games that are available for and how they like push the envelope of what the 2600 can do. Like they're pushing the hardware as far as it can go, kind of stuff. And it got me interested, so I started looking into what they have again because I went there initially just looking for Halo 2600 a couple months ago, and I saw some other stuff. But last month, this stuff took a while to get to me. It takes a while for this guy to make these physical editions, so I've been waiting about a month and a half for these things to show up, and they showed up like 2 weeks ago. And I'm probably going to buy more because a lot of them are going to get taken off the website at the end of next month, at the end of July. So I'm going to be buying a lot more. You might see some of these in August. Excuse me, got the burpees again. So I heard one of the ones that I bought, I was like super, like I was the one I was going there to get. And I'm glad I found it. I'm glad it was still in stock and I can get a complete in box version. But while I was there, I also found this. Soul of the Beast. This is a port of Shadow of the Beast, which was an Amiga game on the Atari 2600. What? When I saw that artwork, I was like immediately familiar with it because I own this like for 2 other consoles. And I was like, that is not what I think it is. Well, they renamed it Soul of the Beast to not get sued for copyright infringement. And then you look at the back and you look at the pictures and it looks like an Atari 2600-ified version of Shadow of the Beast. It's essentially like a beat 'em up. But now it's like, oh my God, I cannot believe this exists. Battle your way through hostile creatures across vast realms to face off against the vile sorcerer Rinkar. Will you fight for the soul of the beast? Yeah. 4 massive areas, 14 unique enemy types with variants. Non-linear exploration, puzzles and secrets, parallax scrolling on an Atari 2600, and boss encounters. 1 player used with the joystick. Like, I was blown away that this exists. So I had to... there was a no-brainer for me. I was just like, I don't care. I'm buying it. Let's see what it comes with. Well, number 1, it comes with a pretty awesome box. Number 2, we got the cart. Which is fantastic. Oh my God. Comes with a full color manual with the artwork on the back from the front of the box. And it has all the enemy types and stuff in it. Oh my God. Like, you have no idea how excited I am about this. And it comes with, I do believe, a poster. Yep. Soul of the Beast. And this cost like $45, I think, for the whole set, which is not bad when you're talking about all this stuff you're getting for a dead console. Like, all the effort that went into this is just mind-boggling to me. Okay, get in there. And then this goes in. So I saw this and I immediately went, yes, I'm taking that one home with me. Oh, that's cool. Even on the flap, you got a little picture of a key. I love it. Love it. Love it. But the one that I went there to get is this. It's called Unholy. That is metal AF. And you can see there's like a pentagram in the screenshot or whatever. This is like an adventure game, but with like a religious twist to it. I'm not a religious person myself, but I thought this just looked fantastic. Like a legit horror game for the Atari 2600. It says, in his first mission, the young monk Gabriel Sancti finds himself in trouble when facing a haunted and unknown mansion to save the young Isabella Lorraine from Evil's hand. In addition to having to discover the secrets of the mansion by opening doors and finding passages, Gabriel will need to rescue 4 survivors before facing the final duel with the devil. And I watched some video on this on YouTube, and I was like, there is no question I am picking this game up. Like, I must have it. I absolutely must. Let's see here. So we got the cart, which has that awesome artwork on it. Absolutely. And a full color. This was like some thick like paper stock. Full color manual. No poster, but I don't really care. There's the enemies. That is so cool. I cannot wait to pop this in and play it. I need to hook up my Retron 77 so I can play this. Hopefully it will play. I'm hoping it will. I know that the regular Retrons play repros pretty well when it comes to like the other consoles, so I'm hoping this one. I might have to update it first, but there was no way in hell I was gonna no way in hell I was gonna pass that up. Yeah, usually I think this one is that one. But yeah, I absolutely had to have that. But then while I was there, I came across this thing, and this is a console I don't even own anymore. I used to own it back in the early 2000s, but I got rid of it because of how much it sucked. But when I saw what it was, I'm like, I don't care what console it's for. I don't own that console. I have no way of playing this game. I had to get it because of what it is. And that is IntelliDiscs. And you take one look at that, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is Tron related, so I had to do it. And what it is a port of Tron Deadly Discs on the Atari 5200. I did have one of those monstrosities back in the day, or back in the early 2000s. I bought it off of eBay, and it sucked. None of the controllers worked, so I got rid of it. I did not want that in my house taking up space. It was a behemoth. And these cartridges for this console are gigantic. Look at this thing. And it also comes with overlays that are attached to the back of the cartridge to put on the Atari 5200 controllers. Up, left, up, right, left, crouch, block, identifier body, control mode, whatever these mean. I don't know. Once I saw this, I was like, it's going to be mine. See, they just like kind of attached to the back of the cart, which is kind of cool. Absolutely had to have it. And it comes with a manual as well, full color. It shows the little keypad that's attached to the craptastic Atari 5200 controllers. And it looks like there's even more to this game than there was in the original version. Your Man and a Seeker. Oh, look, it's not. That's not Tron. Your Man. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's not a recognizer. So the Atari 2600 version of this only had other characters to fight in the game. The Intellivision version did more. It had recognizers would show up and try to stomp you and stuff. There was multiple character types. So in this one, it's basically, I think the reason why it's called IntelliDiscs, it's more of a port of the Intellivision version of the game over to the 5200. But they couldn't call it Tron Deadly Discs without having Disney come down hard on them, obviously. But I don't care. I still needed to have it because it's Tron. Isn't that the size of a Neo Geo arcade card? Probably. But like I said, I saw that. I did not go there looking for that. I saw it. Like I was going through the list of games they have, and I was scrolling over the Atari 5200 stuff. Well, I didn't think it was 5200 at first. I thought it was actually 7800. And then I saw IntelliDiscs. So I'm like, what's that? And then I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, Tron. And then I looked, and I saw, oh, it's in the 5200. I'm like, I don't care. It's Tron. I have to have it. So now we're going to get into some newer stuff. Well, not newer stuff. This is still old, but stuff that is actual licensed games. And this is a brand new copy of this damn game. I bought a copy for the Mark III, the Sega Mark III, which is the Japanese version of the Sega Master System. Can you tell what game that is? It's Rygar. So I found out that in Japan, on the Master System or the Mark III, the version of Rygar that they got is the actual arcade version. We got like an adventure-y consoleized version for the NES over here, but the actual arcade version, which is basically just a beat 'em up with that shield, is what they got over there. And I was like, oh shit, I actually really like it. I have it for the Lynx, but I would actually like to be able to play this on my television, so I opted to get this version as well. And like I said, it is still sealed. So I have not played it, but let's do an unboxing, shall we? It says the console, or this is the stream of unboxings, everybody. I unboxed Showgirls. I unboxed the Empire of Screams. I'm unboxing this. There's something else I'm going to be unboxing in a minute, too. Come on, bro. What the hell? Okay, I got that part done. Wow, this is nutso. I'm just going to cut it. There we go. Okay. So there we go, out of the package, just relaxing, playing some AEW. I hear that an AEW game is actually pretty good. I know that the Game Beaters are like ambassadors for the game. But here's the card. I still think it's funny that Mark III games look like freaking ColecoVision cartridges. There we go. And the manual. I think that's it. Yep, the manual, which I will not be able to read. But like I said, this is the arcade version of the game, which we didn't get over here except on the Lynx, and nobody bought the damn Lynx, so nobody got to play a home port of the original arcade version. Until now. I remember I saw some dude on Facebook talking about this, and I went like, oh, wait a minute. Like, what now? And I went and I found a copy of this like really cheap on eBay. I want to say I paid like $30 for this. So I had to snap it up. Absolutely. So happy to have that. Now I have two Mark III games. Like you're talking about the old the Nintendo 64 arcade games, old Smackdowns. And I also picked up an import Master System game. I ordered this actually like 2 months ago. Like it should have shown up last month, but the guy that I bought this from was in Germany, and like I bought it, and like 3 or 4 days later, like I bought this when I was at my brother's wedding. Like I was in the hotel waiting to go down for the ceremony, and I ordered this on eBay, and that was like the first weekend of May, and it didn't show up until like 2 weeks ago. So the guy, like 3 days later after I bought it, it was said that it was given to like the post office in Germany, and then it just stopped moving. Like the tracking number just did not show any progress after that. And like almost a month went by, and I texted or I messaged the guy, and I'm like, dude, did you actually ship it? Because it hasn't moved in a month. And he never responded. And I was like, okay, we're going to have to escalate this. So I went to eBay, and I'm like, I want my money back. Either give me my money back or send me my goddamn game. I was like, this thing is obviously, it's been sitting in this holding pattern at the post office in Germany for like over a month. And then I guess eBay came at the guy, and next thing you know, he sends me a new tracking number, and now it's been shipped. But the guy either forgot or didn't ship it and thought he was just going to walk off with my money. He's like, no mercy, Def Jam. I gotcha. And that is 007, The Duel. Sorry, James Bond 007, The Duel. And it is a port of the Genesis James Bond game, which I really enjoyed. That was by Domark. This one's released by Domark as well. Love the music in it. I think it's kind of fantastic. It's a platformer / run and gun that I think is really fun. I always thought it was kind of underrated that nobody was ever talking about. That nobody ever talks about it now. But even back when I got it, I picked it up at FuncoLand of all places because even back then I liked my licensed games. I especially like James Bond movies, and I was like, I ended up buying that from FuncoLand like dirt cheap, and nobody knew about it. And I was like the only person in my group of friends that had a Genesis that had a copy, and I would be telling people about it, and they'd be like, yeah, whatever. But like nobody even on YouTube nowadays talks about it. But it's a really fantastic game. I have not played this port yet, but it looks almost like the exact same game. It's just, a little bit downgraded. But I will definitely be booting this up this weekend because I got the long weekend. I'm going to try all these games that I got here that I haven't played already and see what's up. So really excited about that. And my buddy Movie Tom Reinert, who does a lot of selling of movies and games on Whatnot, or I think that's Whatnot, was putting up a bunch of his NES games for sale. And before he put them up on Whatnot, before he did like a stream there, he put picture of them up on Facebook, and was like, "Hey, anybody interested? Dope cover of the best Bond." Yeah, I do enjoy him as Bond very much. Those two movies he made are some of my favorites. What's it called? He put a picture of these Nintendo games that he had in his collection that he was going to end up putting up on What's Up, or I just said it, Whatnot. But he wanted to sell it to his friends, or give the option to his friends to buy them first. And I snapped at a couple of them. I was like, yeah, I want those too. And he was trying to I also have these other things if you want them too. I'm like, no. Don't enable me. I just want these two things. So I initially just wanted 8 Eyes on the NES. I've always wanted this game. I wanted to rent it back in the day, and I never did. The only place that had this was a West Coast Video that was a little too far away from my home to ride my bike, there to rent it. And plus, my parents never got me a card there, so I would have had to have them with me, and they rarely ever went there. It's it's like a horror adventure game, I guess, but it looks like Castlevania, but it plays like Castlevania 2. And you have like this hawk or whatever that like is a companion or a familiar or whatever, but you go into all these different rooms, and it's kind of like when you're playing Goonies 2, and you go into the rooms and you can like knock on the walls. You have to like look around and find clues and whatever and items. I always wanted to play this, but I never did. So now I can. And I tried it out on my Retro Freak, and it works. I just need to set aside some time to play it. And the other one I picked up just because I was like, you know what? I don't have a port of that game anywhere. I don't even think I used to own it on the Atari 2600, but I don't even have that anymore. So I was like, you know what? Give me that copy of Q*bert. It's a Konami joint. And yeah, all it is like a port of Q*bert. Definitely better than the Nintendo or the Atari 2600 version. But I've always been a fan of Q*bert. I always liked playing it in the arcade. I always thought it was super fun. And it's just a weird platforming single screen game where you're just hopping around on these tiles and these pyramid pattern, changing the colors until they're all uniform. That stage is done. Move on to the next one. You got all these different enemies coming after you and stuff. It's very early 80s arcade game. But then this. So I missed the bandwagon on this when it was first released or was available for pre-order. I didn't know anything about it. And then all of a sudden, last month, I started seeing, never played Q*bert. Q*bert's super fun, Peter. By the way, Peter! Never played it. You should. It's good. It's fun. It's easy. It's classic. I started seeing a bunch of YouTubers like Back in the Day Gamer talk about this, and I was like, "Oh man, where was I when this was like coming out?" Luckily, you had to buy this from IM 8-bit. Luckily, they still had copies available on IM 8-bit for sale, so I ran over there and picked it up. Turns out there's like 4,000 copies of this thing available. So there's 2 variants when it comes to the cartridge, and the rare one I do believe is pink colored for the cart. And I'm curious to see if I got the pink version of Garbage Pail Kids, Mad Mike, and the Quest for Stale Gum. I'm not sure if this was something that was in development back in the day and got canceled, and then somebody found the ROM and finished it, or if this is a new homebrew game based on Garbage Pail Kids or whatever. But I loved Garbage Pail Kids when I was a kid. It was like the thing for a while. Like when Nintendo and Garbage Pail Kids, oh my God, like all of my friends were collecting these things. Some of them were fun, some of them were not, some of them were stupid, but I always had a good time. I collected like the first like 8 series of these things. It's pink for rare and green for the standard. Well, we're going to find out which one I got because I still haven't opened this thing. and it was random who was going to get them. It's a game that was in development, got trashed, and someone picked it back up. So it's basically like what Pico Interactive does. They find unfinished ROMs and finish them up and put them out for sale on physical. So let's see what I got. Womp womp. Well, you said it was rare was pink and green was standard. This is blue. What about the blue one? Maybe it's a post pre-order exclusive variant. I don't know, but yeah, this is blue. Yeah. Wait, blue is standard? Okay. Oh, well. Back in the day, Gamer actually got the pink one, which is kind of cool. So, got the full color manual. It looks really cool. It looks like a platformer, which is probably what I would have expected. Yeah. And it also comes with like these cards, which I'm not going to open. But I'm assuming it has like some characters from the... Yeah, it's like the Garbage Pail Kids characters from the game itself. So Patty Putty, yay. All right, well, I was hoping I got the rare one, but I'm cool with it not being the rare one. I wish it came with a freaking slip for the cartridge. You know, like one of those... Well, I got one of the ones back there. I can put the Do You Nerd one in there. Put it to use. Do You Nerd for Garbage Pail Kids. But yeah, I don't know where the hell I was when this thing was the talk of the town. I must have just been brain farting or worrying about Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know. Love the cards back then. Yeah, I used to have, like I said, I think I bought the first 8 series of cards back in the day. And then I gave up after a while because they just started to be like not funny anymore. They were like kind of repeating themes and stuff, and I was like, there's only so many barf jokes you can make, you know, before they're not funny anymore. So me and my friends just kind of like lost interest. Your quest for stale gum is about to begin. That's funny. So yeah, there's that. Random thought. I just ate way too many fresh cherries. You might be puking later. Do you ever see the Witches of Eastwick? Now we get to the more modern stuff. So I got 2 games for the PS4 and a bunch for the PS5. So I played this when I visited Church, the Game Grinder, 1.5 years ago. So this was like November of 2021. It was the first time I went to visit. Tom Reinert came over to hang out. Cardboard Zero, Church's friend Justin, came over as well. And we all sat around and we played Mother Russia Bleeds, and we beat it. I got like I just beat it post out of, you know, playing this over there and beating it. It's a 4-player beat 'em up where you're playing as these like drug addicted Russians. It's like this weird version of steroids or whatever. And you're going after like the guy who's distributing it. And at the very end, it has kind of a bleak, it can. Depending on what you do during the final fight, you could get a good ending or a bad ending. Well, we screwed up. And we did the thing that you're not supposed to do, and we got the bad ending, and all of our characters died. But we beat it. It's really, really fun and creative. It has great music. And I thought at first when I bought this that these characters, because they're kind of standing out, kind of funny on the plastic, and I thought it was part of the cellophane. No. This is just all about unboxings today, everybody. Open up. Open up, damn you. There we go. No, the characters are actually printed on the plastic that holds the insert. Oh, shit. I'm glad I opened this up. This is loose. Okay. So if I were to take the artwork out... Oh, no, it isn't. They're like embossed. They're like shiny. There you go. You can kind of see the way they're like sticking up out of the plastic. That's cool. But they're like, it's weird when you're looking at it through the plastic that holds the artwork in that it looked like they were actually part of the plastic. Come on, manual. Don't be a butt. So this was kind of a hard to get game when it first came out. It was like, what company released it? Special Reserve released this in like limited quantities, and it was kind of hard to get because apparently it sold out. And then after, like when I played it at Church's place, I looked up a copy because I liked it so much I wanted to get a copy, and it was going for like almost $100. It looks like, according to the back, there's only 1,200 copies of this made, and I got 1,014. But the price has come down since then. Apparently, this is not such a hot commodity after all that a lot of people thought it was going to be. So I ended up getting it for like retail, which is fine because I really enjoyed it. I didn't have a problem with it. And it comes with an actual hardbound manual, which is kind of awesome. Has a lot of, actually, it's not a manual. It's like an art book. That's cool. You have like 4 different characters you can play as. Everyone's kind of slowly turning into a zombie because of the drug. It's really fun. It's a great beat 'em up, especially if you have couch co-op going on. I don't know if you can play this online. It doesn't say that you can, but like we were playing it like 4-player together, and it was a blast. So I had to get a copy of my own, and now that the prices come down, it was the perfect time to do it. That's a fancy way to do it. Crazy, yeah. And then I got this finally from Limited Run Games. I probably ordered this last summer, and I finally got it. And that is River City Girls 2 by Way Forward. I recently got from them River City Girls 0. Now I finally got 2. So I have the 3 games, the trilogy, complete for the PS4. I would have gotten it for the PS5, but I have the other ones for the PS4. So I was like, why not just complete it on that console and just have it all sitting there on the same shelf? OCD will take over. But it's a beat 'em up that's from the River City Ransom universe, but you're playing as the girlfriends of the characters from those games who are just as brutal at beating the crap out of people as the men are, which is cool. I like it. I played a little bit of the first one. I really enjoyed it. I need to go back to it and finish it. Church absolutely loves these games, and he speaks super highly of them, so there's that. And now we're getting into PS5. So what is older and what is newer? Those are all okay. So I got a super discounted version of the enhanced edition of Midnight Suns. This came out, I do believe, last Christmas. And Jason from Corpse Flood bought it, and he played through it pretty quick. And it's like playing Marvel XCOM. You know, it's a strategy, action game where you're playing as Marvel characters, and you can constantly be unlocking new ones as you go. But you start off with, like, who is it? Wolverine, Spider-Man, Iron Man. I don't know who that is. Blade, Scarlet Witch, Ghost Rider. I don't know who that lady is in the front. But he said it was pretty fun, even though it was a little bit clunky. But he's a huge Marvel fanboy, so he wanted to buy this on day one. I was like, I can wait, because I knew there was going to be like DLC and all that kind of stuff. But I ended up getting the enhanced edition, which I think there was 3 editions of this that came out. And this is the second version, and there's a third, even better one. This one, I think, has some characters already unlocked built into it, or I have to enter a code for it or whatever. But I hear it's not bad. I watched a little bit of this being streamed on Twitch, and I thought it looked kind of cool. At least story-wise, it looked pretty cool, so I picked it up. Only paid like $25 for that. They used to be really good. They used to only put the games up for sale on Limited Run when they had the games in stock. So for the first like year and a half, it was like, even though they're only releasing limited quantities of the games, if you ordered it and you bought it and you paid for it, it would get shipped like 2 or 3 days later and you'd have it. But now all they do are pre-orders, and now everything is like in a waiting list to get made. So you might be waiting an entire year before this thing gets to the place where they're going to print the copies up. Save you from tears, getting some Zelda. I'm not paying that much money for that game. I'm sorry. Everyone's making such a big deal about that game, and I'm kind of sick of hearing about it. But I'm like, I'm not paying $70 for that. I'll wait for like, what's it called, Black Friday, and hopefully get a discount. We shall see. Next up, I got this from Amazon, and it is Killer Frequency. It's from Team 17. I think the people that do Worms. And this is, I do believe, a point-and-click adventure game. It says phone lines are open and callers are dying to get through. The year is 1987, and as the clock strikes midnight in a small town, Gallows Creek, USA, big city radio DJ Forrest Nash is live on the air in what will turn out to be the graveyard shift of a lifetime. In this horror comedy, players must solve puzzles to save callers from a mysterious killer. Can you save the inhabitants of Gallows Creek? It sounded interesting and different. So I snapped it up, and this is only like $15. So I grabbed it. You know I like being thrifty. Like with this one. But this one ended up coming... Okay, so it's weird. I got this through Amazon as well, but this is a limited run game. And apparently the way that they were selling games through Best Buy for a while, they're now doing it through Amazon. Because I bought a bunch of limited run stuff through Amazon, at least within the last 6 months. So we're talking Sword of the Necromancer. And I originally thought this was that game I had for the Switch. Like it was just the PlayStation 5 version of it. But apparently not. So when it showed up, I was like, oh, I thought this was something else. I'm like, damn it. But it says, what would you do to bring back someone you love? And I do believe this is an RPG. I can't really read it. Alexa, desk daylight white. This girl, she does not like listening. It's usually when I'm streaming that she doesn't want to do it. Maybe I'm taking up too much bandwidth and she can't hack it. I don't know. Oh, my bad, Peter. Did I ever mention I'm dumb? Yeah, I think this is an RPG. I cannot be positive because, like I said, I thought this was a completely different game. But I did get it for like $29 or $25. So it did not break the bank or anything. Let's see what else. Also, this showed up today. Demoniaca, or no, this showed up yesterday. Sorry, Demoniaca: Everlasting Night. So Radical Reggie made like a post of like some new games that he picked up for the Switch. He seems to like love buying everything for the Switch nowadays. I'm not a big fan of the Switch. If it's an exclusive, sure, I have no other option. I have to get it for that console, but I want to play it on my television. So I snapped it up for the PS5, and it was not expensive. It was like $30. And this is like a Metroidvania style game, from what I understand. Enter a dark world of grotesque maturity. Okay. Explore, fight, meet new friends, and seek revenge against those who brought you unbearable pain. Face handcrafted enemies, each calling for a different strategic approach in combat. Dress and arm yourself in gear that's both practical and fashionable. Enjoy grim visual design with a touch of eroticism. Ooh, boobs. So, yeah, I hear it's a Metroidvania, and you know me, and I love my Metroidvanias, so I'm definitely going to be playing this year. But once I saw what out of all like the 8 games that Radical Reggie had in that picture that he took, this was the one that got my attention. I was like, what is that? And yeah, now I realize I bought like a semi-adults only game. Boobs. But I'm not mad because that looks pretty cool. Also from Limited Run, this was one of the ones that I pre-ordered. It showed up with River City Girls 2, and this was the one I've been waiting for because when you see what it is, you're going to know why. It's the Shadowrun trilogy. Cyberpunk, like a mofo, my genre, bro, right here. These are the games that started off on Steam. They're adventure games, like point-and-click adventure games, but like it's okay. It's like a weird combination. Well, because you're playing it on a computer, you have to use your mouse. So technically, that's the point and click part of it. It's a top-down adventure game, and it also has strategy elements like XCOM. So you go around talking to people. You're trying to uncover this or solve this mystery, and you have to talk to different characters, get different like conversation branches going, kind of like in the Super Nintendo Shadowrun game. And when you do combat, it's like cover-based, but it's still looking top-down. And you have multiple characters in your party sometimes, and you have to like tell them where you're going to move over here. It's almost like Mario and Rabbids on the Switch. Super fun. I absolutely loved it. And there was 2 more games that they released in the series, which is where the trilogy comes from. So you got the original Shadowrun Returns. That was the one I was playing on Steam. That was like when I was even playing it on this computer. Now, this computer does not play games very well. And then there was Shadowrun Dragonfall and then Shadowrun Hong Kong. I have not played Dragonfall or Hong Kong. I hear they're fantastic, but Shadowrun Returns was the shiz. So I absolutely had to get this, and it just took freaking forever for it to show up. But I will be playing that this year as well. And then the two newest games I got, this one is the one I'm currently playing, and that is Street Fighter 6. I was not really all that interested in buying this one after the debacle that was Street Fighter 5. When Street Fighter 5, the original version of it was coming out, I had it pre-ordered, the big version, like the special edition that came with the Ryu statue. But then once I found out that it was online only, there was no single player mode or anything like that, I was like, nope, and I deleted my pre-order, and I didn't buy it until the arcade edition came out, which had the one-player mode in it and all that. And now there's one that came out after that that's got even more stuff on it. Whatever, it's like the whole Super Street Fighter 2 crap. So I wasn't really interested in this one at all, even though it sounded kind of cool when it came out. I love the new graphic style and all that kind of stuff, until I saw Johnny Millennium's review on his channel, Happy Console Gamer, and it turns out that this has a story mode. Capcom learned from its mistakes. Instead of screwing people over like they did with the original Part 5, they gave you a story mode like Mortal Kombat games have nowadays, where you create your own character, you get placed in this open world, and you go around and you try to do tasks, and you can basically fight anyone on the street. Anyone you walk up to on the street has like a number over their head that tells you what their level is, and you can immediately fight them. And everyone on the street is like ready to fight. Everyone is like trained in martial arts, so it's not like you're just walking up and beating up randos. Everyone out there is like looking to fight, and you level up as you go, and you start to find the characters from the main roster of this game. Like this guy is Luke. There's Ken, Ryu, Chun-Li, Honda, all of them, Blanca. DJ, all of them. You find them. You have to find them by following the story, and you get them to train you, and you can switch between everyone's style. As you start to get enrolled in their teachings, you get their style, and you can level up their style by using that to fight people. And the more you fight with it, the more you level up the style as well as your character, you can unlock more moves with that person, and you get more points, like what do they call it? Like person points or whatever, like personality points. The more you talk to them, or the legacy characters, the more you talk to them and converse with them, they like start to like you more, and they will be willing to do more things for you. Like you can get them to show up in a fight. Like you hit L1 and L1 and R1 during a fight that you're like having some problems with, and next thing you know, they'll pop into the fight with you and fight alongside of you. They'll take pictures, like selfies with you and all this kind of stuff. So the more time you spend leveling up their techniques, the better options you get from that character. Personally, I really dug Luke at first. Luke is the person you start off training under. So at first I was like strictly Luke, and then I got Chun-Li. I used her for a while, but her stuff kind of gets old. Then I ended up finding Ken, and then Ryu, and a couple of other new characters too that show up. So now I'm exclusively using Ryu's techniques, and I'm leveling him up real good. I've gotten some seriously cool moves from hanging out with him. It is super fun. I've been playing this. I was playing this earlier today for like 3 hours. I lose time playing this. There's been times when I've waken up, like I leave for work. I start getting ready for work at like 10 in the morning, and I usually wake up around like 7. So like I woke up at 7. I was like, I'll play some Street Fighter for maybe an hour, and then I'll go and do some housework and like maybe clean up a little bit, or maybe make some food for later. And like I'm playing this, and then all of a sudden the alarm goes off at 10 o'clock to say get ready for work. And I'm like, what? It has happened multiple times as I started playing it. It is super fun. It's not as good as here's the thing. The story modes that are in the new Mortal Kombat games are linear completely. It's like you're not given the option to actually go anywhere. It's like the story takes you to this person, you have a fight with them. The story takes you to this person next, you fight them. Here it's open world. You go where you want. You pick who you want to fight. You pick who you want to learn under or get taught by. It is super cool. I love it so much. And then there's also the fighting game mode also, which is online, and you can do that, or single player or whatever. But I haven't touched that yet. I've been doing strictly the story mode, and it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. I made my character. I thought I was being clever when I created my character. I'm like, I'm going to make Mike Hagar from Final Fight, because that series kind of runs concurrently with the Street Fighter games. They kind of cross over every once in a while. So I'm like, I'll make Mike Hagar my character. And I made Mike Hagar look like Mike Hagar. I made him all bulky and big, mustache. And then it turns out Mike Hagar is the freaking mayor of the town that you're playing through. I'm like, God damn it. Sounds like a fight night game. It's really cool. I really enjoy it. And the last game I talk about is the game I'm going to be playing once I finish Street Fighter 6, and that is Diablo 4. I did not think we were going to be getting this on a console. I thought it was going to be a PC exclusive like it usually is, and then like way later down the line we get the consoleized version. Like with Part 3, I think it was like that. We got the PC people got it first, and then we got it way later. Didn't stop me from enjoying the hell out of Part 3. I played that game like so long. My play sessions of that were so long that the controller would die in my hand. It was fully charged when I started, and then the controller for my PlayStation 3 would just die, or PlayStation 4 would just die in my hand. I've been playing it for so long. I've been playing it for like hours and hours. So I'm really looking forward to playing this. Dungeon crawl awesomeness. Church has already beaten it and is still playing it online. He says he's going to play it for hours and hours and hours and hours. It's cross-platform. That's awesome, too. So I can play it with friends. Any friends got the Diablos 4s and wants to play with me once I get going on that? I'd be appreciative. Yeah. This comes with a code for downloadable content for the game. I'm not going to be showing that off. But I cannot wait to play it. It looks fantastic. I love dungeon crawlers, as you all know. So absolutely had to pick this up. I'm not one for buying games like on day one for full price for this console, because they usually are like they've upped the price $10. Now they're $70 instead of $60 like they've been since the PlayStation 3 days. So I'm not really big on it, but luckily I had a coupon that I got Street Fighter 6. And I wanted to bring this up too. I realize how clever Capcom is when it comes to like where they put the numbers of the sequels of their games. Like when the new Resident Evil games with Resident Evil, 7, the way they hid the 7 in the title, and now they did with Village, the 7, or the V111 is the Village, VILL part of it. Well, if you look, it looks like Street Fighter 6, like there's a 6, but if you turn it sideways, there's the VI 6. I thought that was kind of cool. I'm just a geek, whatever. But Diablo 4 just has one V. But I can't wait to. Well, I've been trying to finish Street Fighter 6 because I really want to play Diablo 4. But I knew that if I played Diablo 4 first, I would not play Street Fighter 6. So I intentionally am doing it in a certain way. On the Xboxes, it doesn't look like D3 in case you did. It's still a dungeon crawler, though. It's still top down. So if you have not seen this, the short that I released earlier today, it's my 60-second review of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I released that about an hour or two before I started the stream tonight. But I hope you like the stuff I got this month. Quite a bit. Not as cool as last month, but I think I got some interesting stuff. Definitely got a lot of stuff to watch. Definitely. So I'll be back next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Central, with Part 4, the final original Xbox Video Game Collection 2023 live stream. And we probably won't have another Tides of Flame stream until August. Everybody in July is kind of occupied. We can't get the whole crew together throughout July. So the first one will probably be in August sometime. So keep an eye out for that. I'll be posting all about that on the social networks because I've been trying to push it. Oh, the art style is different. Oh, that doesn't bother me at all. As long as the game is fun. That's all I care about. So keep an eye out for next Thursday's live stream, and I will hopefully see you then. Everyone, have a good night. Have a good 4th of July. Stay safe this weekend. Don't burn your face off with fireworks, people. Don't drink and firework, please. Or drink and drive. I will see you all later. Have a good evening and good weekend. Chris, the old-ass retro gamer, out. What just happened?